Okay, I'm back.
Okay, Greg, I've already started the recording. We're 7:01, and Jeff Wade just walked in.
Jeff has logged in, you said?
Excuse me?
Did you say Jeff is on the line?
He walked in person. He's here live.
Okay, so I see only 3 people online. How many people are present?
3, so we have 6.
We do. Got it. All right. So, good evening. We'll call to order the regular monthly meeting of the City of Helotes Planning and Zoning Commission, and I would ask the Commission Secretary to call the roll. I note that it is 7:02 p.m. on April the 6th.
Greg Michelle.
Here.
Jason Whiteman.
Here.
Ron Haza. Richard Hawk. Alex Blue.
Here.
Jeff Wade.
Here.
Mario Rios. Greg.
Okay, and go ahead, Ron. Finish it out.
You go ahead.
Well, I would like to introduce to everyone the newest member of the Planning and Zoning Commission, Ann Caraway. I want to thank her for volunteering to serve with us and appreciate her being here tonight and being in person. And hopefully one day in the not too distant future, we will all be in person.
Yes. Nice to meet everyone by voice and person.
Great, thank you so much. And I would like to note that we have Selena Perez as well, City Secretary in the House as well. So thank you very much. At this time, it is 7:04 p.m. and I'd like to open our public hearing. We have a public hearing tonight to give all interested persons the right to appear and be heard on a request by New Leaf Homes on a replat establishing the Brycewood subdivision Unit 3B lots 14 to 23, block 15, generally located at Gollum Road. We typically allow 3 minutes for comment from the public. If there is anyone present, we ask that you give your name and address in the City of Helotes. So 7:04, we're open, and Ron or Selena, do we have anyone here to speak at the public hearing?
Mr. Chairman, nobody signed up to speak, so we can close it.
And no one's online, that's correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. So we will close the public hearing and move to our 5th item tonight, which is the approval of the minutes from our most recent previous meeting, which is February the 2nd, 2021. You should have found that material, the minutes in the material that was circulated to you. If there are corrections or edits, this would be the time to call them to our attention, or if everything is in order, we can have a motion at this time.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ron.
may I make a motion to approve?
Thank you. Is there a second to approve the minutes as submitted?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Jason. So the motion is to approve the February 2nd minutes as submitted. All in favor, please say, or if you're online, say or signal aye.
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 Opposed? All right, so our minutes are approved, and Selena, I take it you'll get those to me at a later time to sign off on?
That is correct. I'll email them to you tomorrow.
Perfect. Item 6 tonight, as we move ahead, is discussion and action on the preliminary and final replat pursuant to the Municipal Code of Ordinances, Chapter 78, Subdivisions, Section 74, replatting without vacating previous plats, establishing the Brycewood subdivision Unit 3B, lots 14 to 23, block 15, and replatting Brycewood subdivision Unit 3A, lots 1 to 9, block 26. We have materials in our packet regarding this item. And do we have a representative from the applicant with us this evening in any form or fashion?
Mr. Chairman, we do. We have the project engineer, Dr. Salah Diab. If you guys have any questions, then he'll be called up to the podium.
Okay, he's in person, right?
He's in person, yes, sir.
Thank you. So I think I'll do as I've done in previous meetings when we were in this kind of hybrid fashion, and that is go around the horn and give everybody an opportunity to speak, at least once, with any comments or questions. I'll start in the room with Ron Haza,
No questions at this time.
Jason Whiteman,
Yes, so just to confirm, it looks like Unit 6 was previously platted, is that correct?
You mean?
yes, that is right. We can invite the engineer up if that would be helpful.
I can actually, staff can answer that. I think you mean Unit 3 is previously platted. Unit 6 is a proposed plat.
Ah. Go ahead, Jason.
And yes, so one other question. So it looks like this Briceway Mountain is going to be vacated by this replat. And so is there going to be in the future another connection point to serve Briceway 8 in the other direction that Briceway Mountain would have, accomplished?
So I don't know if you've had an opportunity to check your email, commissioners, but I did send a BCAD map of proposed Unit 6 and proposed Unit 5. The developer is in negotiations with trying to buy out some property that's right between Unit 5 and Unit 6, and that's where they're proposing to connect the two units. If that negotiation falls through, there is an entrance from existing Unit 3 that goes into Unit 6.
So that, to interject for a moment, the indicated red arrow in what you sent this afternoon, Selena, is existing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Jason, were you able to access that document?
Yes, so that I understand that now. Thank you.
Okay, let me go also online to Alex Blue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have any questions that were not already answered. Thank you.
And then back in the room to Jeff Wright's there? Jeff Wade, excuse me, is there?
Yeah, no, Chair, Mr. Chair, I don't have any questions, thank you.
And Caraway, any questions?
Yes, I do. The reason for the replat is due to the extensive deep cut along the common line. Can you explain a little bit what that means? Because I'm not familiar with why it has to be replatted. Because of a deep cut, what does that mean?
So as the engineer comes forward, if he'd be good enough to put his name and business address on the record for us.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, everybody. My name is Salah Diab. I'm with Seda Consultant Engineer at 6735 IH10 West, San Antonio, Texas, 78201. And Commissioner.
Need to ask again, Dr. Dio? Yes, so the reason for the replat is because there was an extensive deep cut along the common line. What does that actually mean?
When we got into the construction of Unit 3, it was due to the nature of the contours of the elevation in the area. We had to cut along that line between the two units 3 and 6, and that cut become about 12 feet deep. So we have like a 12 feet rock wall, solid rock wall. And we can't, even if we get to cut through to Unit 6, we'll end up at the other side of Unit 6 to be able to daylight.
Oh, okay. Now, what makes us think that when you try to do the street through Unit 5, if that happens, that how long is that wall of rock? I mean, is it going to be accessible through another unit?
It's going to be close to the mid of Unit 5. And we're taking that connection towards the end of it, towards the northeast of Unit 5, which would be a simple connection. It's going to be the two areas connect perfectly at that point.
Okay, so there won't be an obstacle if you try to connect through there, if you're able to, correct? And
yeah,
my
so
big concern is just the residents and the traffic and the congestion that we're already worried about in those areas, but the road that you already have that's alongside Unit 3 with the supplemental material that you gave us, that's already being used, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't,
The supplemental map,
There's a connector street,
there's a street
kind
there.
of dead ends right where proposed unit 6 is supposed to start.
Okay, so if you open up that connector street, that street is already being used though, correct?
there is, okay, along Unit 3 and along Unit 6, there is a major street that's called Beck Canyon. Beck Canyon exists on the subdivision which is next and to the northwest of us. We connect into that existing Bend Canyon with Unit 6, which is already in circulation with the city for review and approval. And the connection we're making is another connection, extra connection, which would go between Unit 6 and Unit 5 through Unit 3, all the way to Beck Canyon, all the way to Culm Road also.
Okay. I was just worried about the more traffic on that road that's
Well,
already there, but I guess if this is an insurmountable obstacle, you're saying that the wall is just, you just can't,
Yeah, it's-
penetrating that's gonna be a nightmare. Okay,
It
I just
doesn't-
wanted to make sure, because,
It doesn't affect the flow of traffic at all whatsoever. It would be the same.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If there are no further questions, I would invite a motion to put on the table to discuss.
Mr. Chairman, this is Jeff. I'll make a motion. Is this a recommendation or just approval? Recommendation? Okay. For discussion and action of a preliminary and final replat, pursuant Municipal Code of Ordinances 78, subdivision section 78-4, replatting without vacating previous plat, establishing Brycewood subdivision unit 3B lots 14 to 23, block 15, and replatting Brycewood subdivision unit 3A lots 1 to 9, block 26, recorded in volume 20,001. I recommend approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Ron. Any further discussion or any discussion of the motion? Jeff or Ron?
No, Mr. Chair, I'm good.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Ann,
No, Mr. Chairman.
Alex, or Jason?
No, sir.
Okay, so, did I get you, Jason? Jason, I'm not hearing you.
Sorry.
Jason, could you repeat yourself?
Yeah, go ahead again, Jason. You got a bad connection.
Yeah, but can you hear me now?
Try it now.
Okay, just to kind of reiterate, let me try something else here. I mean, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Just to reiterate what Earl
We're losing you, Jason. It's a static, it's a staticky connection.
did this for us, and I don't think it's factors directly into the motion, but there has been some delay.
Jason, we haven't been able to hear you at all. It stops and starts. You want to try one more time?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to.
Sabrina, did you catch what he said? Because I did not.
I think he was going to sign off and then sign back on. I don't believe he had any objections though.
Why don't we give him 30 seconds to dial back in if he can? Might be phoning in. It's popped up on my screen. Just trying to get in.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Jason. We can hear you, I think.
Yes.
You want to try one more time?
Okay, yeah, just to kind of glom onto what Ms. Caraway said, and I don't think it's directly affecting the issue before us, but there has been some ongoing concern of this development and its, ultimate connectivity and reliance on one access point out to Braun Road, and I'd just like to kind of keep that on our radar. I don't think that it's worth delving into with this particular issue in front of us, but I'd just like to kind of reiterate that concern that we've had, with these summer developments in this area.
Okay. All right, thank you. We heard that just fine. So the motion is to recommend approval of preliminary and final replat pursuant to Code of Ordinances, Chapter 78, Section 74, that's subdivisions replatting without vacating previous plats, establishing the Brycewood subdivision, Unit 3B, lots 14 to 23, Block 15, and replatting Brycewood subdivision, Unit 3A, lots 1 to 9 of Block 26. If you could please, in some fashion, signal aye if you are in support of this motion.
Aye.
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 All right, anyone opposed? This motion is approved and will go forth to City Council at its next meeting, which I believe is next week on is it the 15th? Selena?
It's actually this Thursday on the 8th.
Oh, the 8th, that's right, second. Thank you. All right, let's move ahead here to item number 7 tonight, which is discussion and action on the preliminary and final plat establishing Great Hearts Helotes, a 2.5.5852 acre tract of land, being the remaining portion of a 10.429 acre tract of land. This is property located roughly behind the Falcon International Bank and Cedar Springs. Do we have anyone representing the applicant in the room this evening?
Mr. Chairman, we do have somebody from Pate Dawson in case you all have any questions.
Great. I'm going to try to just go in order of online versus in the room this time. So I'm going to start with you, Alex, if you have any comments or questions about this particular item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My only question at this point would be, obviously, this is one large property that's San Antonio and partially in Helotes. Where is the access point to this property? Is it solely through the parking lot of the Falcon Bank, or does it come out anywhere within the Helotes city limits?
And if the representative from Pate Dawson, just give us your name, please, and business address before answering.
She's coming up to the mic.
Thank you.
My name is Nicole Kinchin, and Pate Dawson is located at 2000 Northwest Loop 410, San Antonio, Texas 78213.
I need to either speak up a little or move closer to the recording mic because you sound very far away.
Sorry, my name is Nicole Kinchin, and Pate Dawson is located at 2000 Northwest Loop 410, San Antonio, Texas 78213.
Great, thank you.
So the site access through this property is through the Falcon International Bank. They do have an agreement with their neighbor, and we're also going in on that agreement. We're also having a secondary access to the south of the Falcon Bank. I believe that connection is with where the Gold's gym membership is. So we're connecting behind, we're adding, I guess, pavement behind the bank.
So, in between Kohl's Gym and the Home Depot Garden Center, there's a crossover between there and the parking lot. That's where you're referring to another access point?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. Is that good?
Yes, thank you. That was my only question.
Thank you. Go to Jason White.
Yes, so presumably this will be zoned at some point. I guess that we start off typically with the kind of open-ended zoning district and then have a rezoning meeting. Is that the procedure here?
The property doesn't have to be rezoned. There's nothing being built on the Helotes side.
Okay. And then, so I guess if there's nothing being built, then we wouldn't be concerned about the buffers, any buffers that would be required.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. In the room, Ron Haza, any questions?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Jeff Wade,
No, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Ann Caraway.
Just to clarify, you're saying that there's nothing going to be built there, but it is going to be a playing field. So will it be like a football field?
Structures.
Okay, there's not going to be bleachers, anything like that.
Correct.
It's just going to be like a track or something. Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, back around. Any other questions before motion? Alex, did you have something?
Yes, I had a question, and now that Ms. Caraway has brought up the question about athletic field. Our zoning in our city does not restrict lighting on athletic fields. We do restrict lighting on buildings, but not on athletic fields. And given the fact that the backside of that property borders directly against backyards in the Cedar Springs neighborhood, do we have any idea of the intended use for that portion there by the creek, which of course is where that is? It's the waterway that's between the two properties. Any idea?
So it is a soccer field, but Great Hearts does not include lighting in their program, so no lighting will be proposed.
So currently no lighting planned, is that what you just said?
Yes.
All right. Any other questions, or at this time I would invite a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion.
Go ahead, Jason.
Discussion of an action on a request by, oh wait, sorry, I'm reading the wrong item here, I apologize. A discussion and action on the preliminary and final plat establishing Great Hearts Helotes being a 2.552 acre tract of land and being the remaining portion of a called 10.429 acre tract of land recorded in volume 15/530, pages 1950 to 1956, Federal Property Records of Bexar County, Texas. Would recommend approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second this, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. So Jason or Jeff, any discussion or comment on the motion?
No, it seems a very low-key development, and it doesn't seem to cause too much concern with the adjoining properties.
Yeah, no, Mr. Chairman, I'm good, thank you.
Alex? Ron or Ann?
No.
No.
Okay, so the motion is to recommend approval of the preliminary and final plats establishing Great Heart Helotes, a 2.552 acre tract of land, which is the remaining portion of a called 10.429 acre tract of land behind Cedar Springs, the budding Cedar Springs subdivision behind the Falcon National Bank. All in favor of the motion, please signal aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, this motion is approved, and again, it will be the 8th, is that correct, Selena?
This item's actually going on the May agenda. There's another component that council has to review and approve.
Okay, thank you. That other component is not related to P&Z?
Correct.
Thank you. Item 8 tonight is discussion and action on a request by Maria Coordinata for approval of a wall sign for Farmers Insurance at 13663, unit number 2, Bandera Road, Helotes. Is the applicant or representative present if we have questions?
She is.
Great, thank you. Thank you for being here. This is item 8 in your packet. I would open it up to comments or questions. I'll start in the room with Ron Haza.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Jeff?
No, sir.
Ann?
No questions.
Alex?
I'm fine with it, thank you.
Jason?
No questions.
Okay, I would like to, if there are no comments or questions, invite a motion at this time on item number 8.
Mr. Chairman, this is Jeff. I'll make a motion, discussion of and action on request by Maria Cardona for approval of wall sign pursuant to Municipal Code of Ordinances, Chapter 66 signs, Section 6651, commercial signs projecting wall and hanging or in on windows. Recommend approval.
Is there a second for this motion?
I'll second.
Okay, I'll give it to you, Ann. Thank you very much.
I'll second the motion.
Jeff or Ann, any comments on the motion?
No.
No, sir.
Anyone else with comments? I might have missed it if you said it, Jeff. If you said the address, I will put it in when I read back, assuming that we're on the same page here. This is for the Farmers Insurance. The motion is to recommend approval on the request by Maria Coordinata for the wall sign pursuant to Code of Ordinances, Chapter 66, Section 51. It is signs, commercial signs projecting wall and hanging or in on windows. Subparagraph B, wall signs for Farmers Insurance at 13663, number 2, Bandera Road, Helotes 78023. All in favor of the motion, please signal aye.
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 Opposed? So this is unanimously approved. Thank the applicant for being here. I'm sorry we don't have an opportunity to talk, but was this for this week, Selena?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this one is for this week for council review and approval.
Great, so the 8th, this will be up for city council. Thank you for being there to support your item. Right, item number 9 this evening is discussion and action on a request by Colleen Miller for approval of wall signage for Lotus Creek Winery at 14391, unit number 2, Old Bandera Road, Helotes. Do we have a representative or the applicant with us tonight?
Mr. Chairman, there is no representative here for this item.
Okay, thank you. We will continue though and open it up to comments or questions from the commission regarding the 2 wall signs proposed here. And I would start in the room. Ron?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Jeff?
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I have is that it states that the sign cannot be above the eaves line. However, the existing sign is already above the eaves line. And I don't really see any other alternative spot to put a sign below.
Jeff, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jeff, but can you speak up a little more? I'm personally having trouble hearing you.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know.
sorry. Hey, talking the wrong one. I'll just talk about the sign and the ordinance saying that the sign has to be below the eaves line. Whereas the current sign is above the eaves line, and I don't see any other alternative spot to put a sign. So So I don't see any other alternative. I think both of them would be all right. No
Okay,
questions?
thanks for bringing it up. Let's see, Ron?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Ann?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Alex?
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Jason?
No questions myself either.
Okay. Selena, regarding Jeff's comment regarding the placement of the sign with the eve line, is that, are we on the same page that is unnecessarily, that is unnecessary for any sort of variance for that sort of thing, assuming one says this is above the eve line?
Well, for me, my interpretation by eve line, the code means below the roof line. So what do you mean, Jeff, below?
I would say the eve line would be on the side of the peak, where it comes down and runs across from front to back, would be the eve line.
Okay.
Do
So I
we have
guess,
a definition
I mean,
available
yeah.
to us that would be useful in this regard
I-
from the code?
I don't think it necessarily applies, I do see your point, but a lot of the buildings in Old Town have the sign placement exactly where this one is.
yeah.
And the other wall sign, or the other section of code that addresses wall signs generally throughout the city, it says below the roof line. So I think that that's what it means here, that's something that we need to revise, we can certainly revise and amend the code.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
To be more consistent.
Yeah.
I do think that's how we've consistently interpreted eve line, is to mean the roof line essentially, as opposed to the drop-off point.
I agree, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, that in my day job, that would be how I would kind of define it myself.
Okay. If there are no other comments or questions, I would invite a motion on this item.
I'll do a motion to approve item number 9, the request by Colleen Miller for approval of wall signage pursuant to Municipal Code of Ordinances, Chapter 98, zoning, Section 98-72, Old Town Helotes Special District, subparagraph G6B2, commercial signs projecting wall, hanging, or in on windows for Helotes Creek Winery located at 14391, number 2, Old Bandera Road, Helotes, Texas 78023. More particularly described as BCAD property ID number 1151554.
And would you mind, just to clarify, Ann, that you're recommending approval since this goes to council?
Yes, recommending approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Great, thank you, Jason. Comments or discussion of the motion, starting with Ann and then Jason?
No, I don't have any.
No, I think this is very much in keeping with what we would expect from Old Town, so no objections.
Thank you. Alex?
No comment, thank you.
Jeff?
No, Mr. Chair.
Ron?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so the motion is to recommend approval of the request from Colleen Miller of wall signage pursuant to Code of Ordinances, Chapter 98, Section 72. That's Old Town, that's zoning Old Town Helotes Special District. Subparagraph G6B2, commercial signs projecting wall, hanging, in or on windows for Helotes Creek Winery at 14391, number 2, Old Bandera Road, Helotes 78023. All in favor of the motion, please signal aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Is there any opposition to the motion? This motion is approved. Congratulations, Ann, on having a successful motion outing there.
I was pretty nervous there.
That brings us to the end of our agenda. I want to again welcome Ann to the group and thank everybody for their participation tonight. Ron, do we have a motion to go out?
Mr. Chairman, may I make a motion to adjourn?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jeff. All in favor of adjourning, signal aye.
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 All opposed, we stand adjourned at 7:36 PM. Thank you all, have a great night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, good night.
I just stop halfway. Because he rereads it anyways.
But I'm supposed to be. I said that shit. So it's like, obviously, approval by not response.
Yeah.
See you on Thursday.